Good morning. I'm actually going to load in a audio file from 2017, one of the first years that I did daily devotional. I think that this one's a really good one, and I hope you enjoy it. Have a blessed day.
This is the daily devotional from April 4th, 2017, recorded today, April 4th, 2023, from my Facebook posting 6 years ago.
Good morning. How are we this fine morning? It's Tuesday, April 4th. Time flies. It doesn't seem very long ago, and I was starting this. Wow. Just gets away from you, doesn't it? Okay. Soul teacher of my love, your helping guidance leads me from ignorance into knowledge as the chill night is transformed by the glad day. Give me assistance to brighten my horizons. Creative sun, skillful daughter, between you and the shuttle of life brightly runs like a child's colorful game. In the rhythm of your weaving I am enfolded. I gratefully put about my shoulders your garment of silence. So, today's theme is shielding. Yesterday we talked about grounding. Today we're going to talk about shielding. Something that's fundamental to anybody who's any kind of energy sensitive, or anybody who is walking about their very busy life in this modern time where things are bustle, bustle, go, go, go. Shielding can become a valuable tool. So it kind of grounding is first. You ground out, you center yourself, you find your place of peace, and when you're grounded and centered, you visualize shielding. Now, those of you in the SCA, I know, are quite familiar with the theme of a big shield that protects you when you're fighting. In energy work, it's a little bit different. You start with a visualization. You start with a visualization of some form of shielding around you. When I have taught classes on shielding and grounding, separate and individual, what I highly recommend is finding something that visually works for you that you can rely on every single time. And sometimes you have to figure out what that is. Some people, I have referred to the Christian Bible because there is a place in the Bible that talks about the armor of God, and it's fairly descriptive. Some people, it's a bubble, like a big energy bubble that surrounds you that is porous, where you can sense things around you, but nobody can get in. It's a one-way bubble, like a one-way mirror. Some people, it's as descriptive and as visionary as wearing dragon scale. So whatever the shielding image that works for you is the image that you work on when you're shielding. And it takes time to develop good shields where you can protect yourself energy-wise and still function. The kicker here is that too good of a shield and you really kind of numb yourself to your environment. And that's not good either, because then that starts a process of shutting you down where you're unable to move and think properly because you're disconnected. Being grounded is essential to shielding, because if you are not grounded and you shield, it's kind of like completely cutting yourself off from your environment and the people around you, and that's not healthy. So when you think of shielding, when I work with little kids, I definitely use the imagery of the knight's shield. So if something's coming at you, or somebody's hurting your feelings, or you feel threatened, you hold up the shield in your mind in front of you, and it's bigger than you are. The shield is bigger than you are, so that whatever's coming at you goes around, but the size of the shield keeps that energy from hitting you from the backside. Okay? As an adult, what I encourage people to do is envision that shield around you all of the time. I use the bubble. The bubble works for me. I use the bubble imagery where it's anchored in my solar plexus. So right here, right in my tummy, solar plexus, my shield is anchored there. So I'm grounded, but then my shield is anchored in my solar plexus and comes out and then up and around, all the way around me. And when my shield is complete, I disconnect it from my solar plexus, and it's floating around me all of the time. And different colors and different thicknesses and different visualization textures go with my shield, depending on the circumstance, depending on who I'm around. When I'm teaching, I have what I call a teaching shield, and I can expand that shield around my students. Helps me sense and feel and see what I need to be able to help them. If I'm not teaching, my shield is my shield. Nobody gets my shield. But shielding does help. It is one of those things that you do have to be grounded for it to work the best, but you don't have to be grounded to shield. So if I get knocked off center, so to speak, and I'm really anxious, or I'm having some anxiety, or I'm struggling with a particular issue, a shield, even though I may not be grounded because I'm struggling with something, a shield can be very helpful. It can help me come back to center and ground out so that I can shield properly. Shielding is really important. It helps you protect your peace, and it helps you find and continue to ground out on a daily basis. It can also help you process input. If you're somebody who has a lot of social anxiety, or you have anxiety at all, I had never really experienced anxiety till I got really sick, and then, oh my God, now I understand. I had never really understood it before. I understand now, and I understand how it sideswipes you, where you're completely unprepared for it. You don't expect it to resurface, and it's like a beast of its own. It's a beast, and it's a creation that you would never wish to have. So anybody who talks about people who have anxiety as their attention seeking, I will not negate that. I'm sure there are people out there who are, but I know that if you genuinely have social anxiety, or you have anxiety at all, and it's completely debilitating, and it's extremely mentally exhausting. It's physically exhausting, and no one in their right mind wants to be anxious. Nobody wants to have that anxiety. I've never talked to anybody who has anxiety that likes it. Okay, it's horrible. But you can work on managing it, and I came from a place of never having anxiety to having anxiety, and I look back on when it was the worst for me, and I can say that it was definitely illness-based, even though I didn't know I knew there was something wrong, but I couldn't figure out all the pieces because everything was falling apart. But I know that I used shielding a lot during that time. It did not make the anxiety go away. Okay? But it did help me manage my response so that I could at least attempt to ground out. So it does work. It takes practice. It takes a lot of patience. And it takes a lot of self-love. And you have to learn to love yourself. And it's okay to fear that sometimes as you're growing through it. So today's prayers are specifically, and themes are specifically around yesterday's grounding and today's shielding. So finding your peace, shielding yourself, and moving about the world shielded and protected in a way that allows you to interact, but also allows you to be protected and be at peace. We had a little bit of snow last night. It's beautiful outside. It's a little earlier than I normally post lately. Tomorrow will be CrossFit, so I will probably not post till I get home. But I wanted to give you a beautiful morning prayer and a good theme that will carry you through the day. Shielding, shielding, shielding. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope that you find your peace. Disconnect from the computer and the telephone and the electronics for a little while and go outside, take a walk. Enjoy this beautiful day. It's supposed to be sunny here this afternoon, so we got a little bit of snow and we're going to get some sunshine. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Blessed be, and I'll see you tomorrow in prayer.